This is the mask for it. The best way to carry out the first quality control check is to put it on top of a sheet of white paper, and you are basically checking that there are no scratches anywhere in the black ink, particularly if the scratches go across a track. So you're checking that there is no damage, and that is one of the classic things. Somebody else chucks this on the side, the tracks on the back get scratched, you then try etching it, that copper which needs to be there is going to get etched away because of the damage to the mask in the first place. So the very first check on a sheet of white paper, and make sure that there are no scratches anywhere on the mask. It's printed on the back, so it's the back that you need to be careful with. This surface is fairly resilient, but the back can be scratched quite easily. Okay, so that's your first check. Black coating on the front that stops the UV light getting to the photosensitive chemical. First job is to clean any of the burrs off it. So you want to get a small file, and literally just take it along the edges. You've done all this before, so it should all be a reminder. Take it along the edges on all four sides, front and back, and make sure you haven't got any little pieces that are going to hold the board off the UV screen. You put your mask into the UV light box. You must make sure that the writing is back to front. Alright, when you look down onto the mask, the writing should be back to front. That is another one of your quality control checks. The UV sensitive chemical is affected by UV light in the outside. So as soon as you peel off that coating, you do not stand having a chat with your mates. You need to put it straight into the box. Make sure you've lined it up on the mask properly and lock it in place so that the sort of ambient UV isn't affecting the chemical. Okay, once it's locked in place, there's no UV getting in there until we turn it on. You then need to expose it for 1 minute 45 seconds. Mr. Winter being very helpful to put a little red mark on the timer to make sure you just turn it around the red mark and leave it. 1 minute 45 seconds, wait for that to click, and then you move on to the next. When you are etching, you should have turned on the two right hand green switches on the etch tank so that you've got the acid heating and you've got the bubble through, and you should also have the extractor on. But we can't have it on during this video, otherwise you can't hear anything. When you remove the board from the UV box, you should be able to see a slight green tint of where the mask is. Put it in the developer. It's taking about 10 seconds at the minute in the developer. And you basically want the masked area to be a green, and the rest you should have a purple chemical that's gradually dripping off, and that's when it is ready. Turn the rinse on. And if you rub your finger across, the green should stay there. If it wipes off, you've overexposed it. Once you've developed the board, you don't need to worry about the UV light anymore, so if it was the end of the lesson, you could stop at this stage. Otherwise, you need to move on to the acid. If you're using the etch tank for the etching using the acid, you need to make sure that you're wearing the gloves and the safety glasses and a lab coat. You put it into the right hand unit, and it's going to take somewhere between 3 or 4 minutes, or if the acid is really old, half an hour. Right, so I'm going to check and see whether or not this board's ready. To do that, I need the gloves on, I need to turn the water on, lift it out and rinse it. I can then have a look at the board. This is nearly done, but you can still see some little pieces of copper here, here and around here. Now, we could probably get away with that, but I'd rather it was totally clean, because if you're going for an A-star, there should be none of this excess copper on. So I'm going to put it back in for another few seconds. Check it again. I'm going to check it again. So gloves back on, definitely the safety glasses on, lift it out, looks as though it's finished, turn the wash on, rinse it, and all of the cotton's been removed. Now, just to be totally sure, I'll then rinse it in the sink fully.